we'll talk about one of the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists, why is it that we cannot see Him? Doesn't make sense. Because if He is there, then we should be able to see Him, right? Makes sense. So I'll try to answer inshallah, and if we have any question we can ask at the end. Because I get this question from a lot of people, your age, my kids, they ask, okay, can we see Allah? And if He exists, can we see Him? Right? So there are some certain things that exist, but we can't see them, right? So say for example, the man who manufactured this microphone, or the cell phone, or the camera, most likely from China. The fact that you don't see this person who manufactured this camera, you don't know them, you don't see them, it doesn't mean that this person does not exist. They exist, but you don't know where they are, and you don't know how they look like. So we are told in the Quran that on Yawm al-Qiyamah we'll be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وجوه يومئذ ناظرة إلى ربها ناظرة. الآية الثانية بتاعت عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون. Right? So we will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Yawm al-Qiyamah. There are so many other examples, like wireless internet, right? You see the impact, you see the result, but you don't see the wireless internet itself. Like, we're sitting here, we have wireless connections in the masjid, so I can connect my laptop from here, but you cannot see wireless internet. But you see the impact. When you go to Google and search something, you see the result, but you don't see wireless internet. Same thing for electricity. The light is the result of electricity. This is not electricity, this is light. But electricity itself, you cannot see it. It is there, but we are not equipped to see it. You cannot see wireless internet, you cannot see electricity. They are there, you're not equipped to see them. So now, if we have twins, two brothers or two sisters, they were born at the same time. So they spent their whole lives together. So you have them there in front of your eyes, and one of them dies, heart attack, he or she dies. So they're next to each other, they're identical, they look like similar in every aspect. What is the difference between the living twin and the dead one? Yes. Yes, one is alive and one is dead. But what is the difference? Because technically, if we weigh them, they will weigh the same, they look the same, same height, same measurements, everything is the same. What is the difference between the living and the dead? Anyone? Yes. The soul, exactly, Ahsan. One of them has a soul, ruh, the other one doesn't, right? Have you ever seen someone's ruh, someone's soul? No. We haven't. So the fact that if someone denies the existence of Allah because they don't see them, tell them you don't have a ruh, you're dead. Why? Because yes, you have a soul, you have a ruh, but we have not seen it. So technically you're dead, based on what you say, right? So it doesn't make sense. And you don't have a mind either, because we didn't see your brain, right? So anyway, so the point is, not everything that exists we're able to see at this point because it exists, but we're not equipped to see it. But on Yawm al-Qiyamah, different style of life, different way of life, the quality of life is different, so we will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even Musa alayhi salam in this dunya, in his human form, in this dunya, bodily form, he asked to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the mountain. In Surah Al-A'raf, رَبِّ أَرِنِي أَنظُرْ إِلَيْكَ قَالَ لَنْ تَرَانِي. You are not able to see me. But he was hearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but he couldn't see Him. But on Yawm al-Qiyamah, do you think Musa alayhi salam would be able to see Allah? Of course, because he will be equipped. He will be able to see Him. Many years ago, like 100 years ago, if I told you, you would be sitting in Mississauga, and you will be able to watch a cricket game in Pakistan, you will call me nuts, crazy. It's not possible. It will never happen. Or you will be able to watch a soccer game between Barcelona and Real Madrid in Spain, right? Real time. It will never happen. Impossible. But now it is possible, right? If I told you that one day I will pray Salatul Fajr in Istanbul and pray Salatul Maghrib in Toronto 100 years ago, you would think I lost my mind. But now this is the reality. It is right there. We see it. We know it is possible. So not everything is possible yet. But at some point, when the right time comes, when you are equipped, you are ready, it will happen. So now, another thing that maybe we touch on some other time, when people are not able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for us Muslims, when you look at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you see His impact. And you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. When you see the beauty of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sun, the moon, the stars, the trees, the flowers, the butterflies, all the beautiful creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know that something like this has to have a creator. Someone must have created this. But in atheism, for example, when people think that all of this came about by coincidence, by chance, there is no master creator who was behind everything like this, doesn't make any sense. Because even in physics, if they believe in physics, you don't get something out of nothing, because everything came out from nothing. You don't get something from nothing. And you don't get order from disorder, because they say everything came together and they formed this universe and everything here. And this is the underlying essence of the theory of evolution, for example. Darwinism, there is no God, everything came together. The fish turned into a chicken by itself. This is how everything came about. There is no master designer, master creator who put everything together. This is what Darwinism is all about. That things evolved from other things. Like, according to that belief, we as human beings, we evolved from monkeys, and chicken came from fish, and so on and so forth. This is total nonsense, right? There is nothing wrong with development. But evolution in that sense, that we came from monkeys and so on and so on, it doesn't make any sense. And there's no proof. This is what they say. There's no proof. But development, that a human being will develop inside the mother, ثُمَّ أَنشَأْنَاهُ خَلْقًا آخَرَ, this is acceptable. We're young, we developed into grown-ups and so on and so forth, and the baby came from the egg and the sperm. This is development, and this is totally acceptable, no problem. And when you look at the little frogs, when they're swimming, they look like fish, but when they grow older, the tail is gone, the feet are gone, it becomes a frog. No, the feet are there, but the tail is gone, right? It looks more like a frog than a fish, right? So this is called development, and this is totally acceptable. But to say that a species turned into another species, this is a totally different thing. So the point is, there is a creator. If you want to realize the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just open your eyes and look around. قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ ثُمَّ انظُرُوا. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. أَمْ خُلِقُوا مِنْ غَيْرِ شَيْءٍ أَهْمُمُ الْخَالِقُونَ. Allah is asking people in Surah Tur, were you created by nothing, or from nothing, or is there a creator, or did they create themselves? No one ever claimed to create themselves. Even حتى فرعون, Pharaoh, who said, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, I'm your Lord the Most High, he never claimed to create anything, because he himself was created, and we're probably the last addition of the creation of Allah. When we came to this world, everything was there. You know, the lizards, the worms, the fish, the birds, the flies, the squirrels, everything was there. We came probably last. So we are basically the babies of the universe. So we cannot claim to have created everything before we ourselves came here, right? So the last point, I know this is a kind of academic and your heads will explode, but this will give you a perspective of what is going on. The laws of physics, okay, I'm getting technical here, they try to explain the marvels of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the universe. The law of gravity, relativity, all these different things. So they try to explain the wonders of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they say, they all agree that there is a perfect design in the world. So if there is a perfect design, and the scholars, they try hard to explain this perfect design, it means there is a designer. Right? It's very simple. You try to explain the perfect design of a designer. So it means there is someone who created this. You cannot say that the sun comes out in the morning by itself. No one designed this. The human eye, we mentioned before, the human eye, which is more sophisticated than any Sony camera, it's millions of times more sophisticated, cannot convince me that this came about by chance. If I tell you that there was a tornado in the desert, and the sand came together with some other elements from the earth and formed an iPhone 8 by itself, you'll call me crazy. But if I told you that this perfect human eye, which is more sophisticated, millions of times more sophisticated than any Sony camera, came about by chance, I don't know. We'll talk tomorrow, inshallah. Focus in salah. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. Questions on when